All right, Latitude Nation, welcome back. This is going to be our final live stream from the 30th Baja Ha-Ha. We are aboard Profligate. I am actually on the road myself today, but we've got Chuck Skewes of Ullman Sales, who's going to give us an update on what has transpired in the last 24 hours, the last leg of the journey to Cabo, and some other news of some changes that have occurred within Ha-Ha events since the fleet arrived in Cabo. So tell us what's going on, Chuck.
All right, so as we always do, we check the weather, several days out, and what we determined is that there's a tremendous amount of wind coming in Sunday night, or Sunday morning to through Sunday night, very strong Sunday night, and if we held all the events that go through Saturday evening, that would put everybody where they couldn't make a port before these big winds come in, and the Sea Cortez could get really sloppy. So we had to make the hard decision to really cancel the last two parties, the last three parties actually, which is kind of a condensed party where we do Squid Row tonight, we do the beach party tomorrow, and then the awards tomorrow night. And we had to cancel them just so that people could, that we weren't forcing people to stay and not be able to make safe passage to their next destination. We didn't want to have all the boats here anchored in Cabo with 30 to 35 knot winds. And so a lot of boats are heading up to La Paz and other places that are dispersed a bit. And so, yeah, we got into Cabo San Lucas this morning. We anchored out for a while. We just got to the fuel dock. And here's BB, one of the boats from the Ha-Ha coming in. We have
Awesome.
Swan Fun behind us over here, just fueled up. And, and everything's fluid in Mexico. You just can't guarantee schedules or plans. And that's part of cruising in general. So uh, you
Definitely.
got to you got to take weather into consideration all the time and have backup plans.
Well, and I think it's a good lesson to kind of take forward. And again, back to what Richard said a few days ago, that sometimes that's what makes the adventure, but also that, the safety of over 100 boats and their crew is
Absolutely.
in the hands of, what plans are made. So I think it was a good call. I read about it this morning. Obviously, I'm sure some people are disappointed, but there is a big beach party in La Paz on Sunday. And so
Exactly.
that should be something that people can look forward to making passage and having a shift in their plans.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you have to be fluid and you have to take responsibility for yourself. And we give you what we feel is the safest route. Like we could have said, hey, we're going to have the parties, but don't come if you don't think you are. But we just didn't want to have the temptation and have people get stuck, not able to deal with what wind, because we have people of all different levels, and there are definitely people that can deal with it, but anything over 20 knots is really not that much fun. As many years as I've been sailing, I used to think, oh, I want 25 to 30 knots downwind, and even downwind is not fun. So if you're heading up to La Paz and the short chop that you get in the Sea of Cortez, it would be kind of brutal.
Totally. And then Anchorage and Cabo can be a little dodgy anyways. It's very busy
Yeah,
and
it's super busy. It's like, I'll give you a quick little pan around. We've been in all those remote places, and now we're in this.
oh
We've got
wow.
music playing. We've got super yachts. We've got skyscraper hotels. It's just mayhem. It's like you're like, wow, we should go back to where we came from.
Right? A little culture shock.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I mean,
there,
and
there,
that's the dichotomy of life, right? You're out
exactly.
there and then you're in it. So I'm curious, what is the crew of Profligate doing? Are you disembarking in Cabo, or some of you going up to La Paz? What's the plan?
So most of the crew is disembarking here in Cabo, like 80% of us. And then Richard and Danya are going to take off first thing tomorrow morning for Puerto Vallarta. They want to only spend one night at sea and get into Puerto Vallarta before the big wind happens. And the wind, as you exit the Sea of Cortez, ends up being less. They're looking at mid 20s versus mid 30s if you head north. So
Okay. So not so bad. How many boats in the fleet do you think are going to head across to Puerto Vallarta, and how many are going to head up to La Paz?
I think about 10 are heading to Puerto Vallarta. Most are heading La Paz, or just a couple. There's two really well protected bays between here and La Paz that that a lot of the guys are going to go to. And then about 20 or 30 boats will probably just stay here in Cabo and wait it out. The issue with waiting it out is you now have to wait it out till maybe Wednesday or Thursday, so it makes almost a solid week of being here. It's not the end of the world. It's warm, but it's windy. And you don't really want to leave your boat at anchor when there's that much wind. So leave it alone at anchor. So they're dealing with that. And but we talked to a few guys in the here. There was one guy that was heading down. I wish I could remember the name of the boat. They're heading down to Puerto Vallarta, and they're going to spend like one day in Puerto Vallarta, then head to the South Pacific. So they're heading down kind of a couple months early for the South Pacific run, but good on them.
Interesting. They're just going for it.
They're going for it.
They want to get across.
Yeah, they picked their passports up from us this morning. We only have 3 boats worth of passports left after that whole thing.
Okay,
So
can you hear
that's
me?
pretty good. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hold on, having some.
Oh, are you still there, Nikki? I cannot hear you. I will leave and come right back. This is.
No, I'm here. It's me.
Oh, okay, good.
So I've determined the problem
Okay.
with live streaming from your phone is that if your phone rings, it does
Oh,
something
yeah.
really weird.
That happened to me when I tried to log on. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
God.
yeah. So where are you going, Chuck? What's next
I'm
for
going
you?
to hang out here till Sunday and then fly back to San Diego because I have to go to Puerto Vallarta in another week and a half. And I
Okay.
have another trip up to the Pacific Northwest between then. So I'm going to be on the plane a lot in the next 3 weeks. So
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the passage. Yesterday when we chatted with you guys, there was no wind. And tell us about the rest of it, and then if there's any news from any boats from this morning's roll call.
yeah, so it right literally an hour and a half. So next year we're doing this at 3 o'clock.
That's a
Like
good
I was saying,
idea.
next year. Yeah, because we were sailing in 18 knots of wind at 3 o'clock and 80 degrees, just flying down. We had wind into the night. We started motoring, then the wind came back up, so it was great sailing again. And we watched another SpaceX launch last night.
Cool.
I think 100% of the boats saw that. It was right overhead when it departed off into the atmosphere or off into the orbit. It was pretty impressive. And then with no ambient light around it, it's quite a view from out here. And then there really wasn't any issues with any boats until we got here this morning. Somebody ran aground coming into the marina here, and I don't know exactly how they did that, but it's pretty well marked. But they just got confused on something and ran aground on a sandbar, but they got off in a pretty short amount of time.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, and just people were disappointed, but completely understood that the events have been canceled. Richard and I went back and forth on it for quite a while. Just like what are the scenarios? What can we do to if people stay there and people can stay here. It's just if you add 100 boats to the anchorage, there was going to be people drifting. There's a huge shelf, so like if your anchor went off the shelf, you're in hundreds of feet of water all of a sudden where you can't anchor, and uh, just we just wanted to avoid any issues.
No, I think that's really smart. And again, you had to make the call. It's not always an easy call, but weather is
No.
out of our control. So we have to make call that. That's what, sailors have to do. You got to look
Yeah,
at the weather
absolutely.
and the forecast, and you got to make the best decision for the crew. And in this case, you've got the crews of over 100 boats that are sort of relying on you guys
Yeah,
to make the right call.
exactly. So yeah, and then so now that we're here, there was no slips available yesterday. Now we have a slip, and I think one other boat, so it's really slim.
Yeah.
And so then we decided that hey, we're going to go to Squid Row, and everybody that is in Cabo decided to stay a night can come and at least sort of participate in the Squid Row party.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Well, so it's like a pseudo event.
Exactly. And I mean, you're younger than I am. Squid Row, I'm done with Squid Row by 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah. I, I'm done with anything out of my house after
Yeah.
9:30.
Yeah.
Well, Well, this has been really fun. Does anyone on your crew have any parting words for Latitude 38
Do
today?
you guys have any parting words for Latitude 38 while we're docking here? Richard, any parting words?
We hope there's another one, but you never know.
All right, we're fingers
Slow
crossed.
down, Jim. Slow down.
Major.
Slow down.
Oh, we just had an engine die on us and hit the dock.
Oh, well, at least it didn't hit the boat.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was a bummer.
Yeah, I kind of felt that stress coming through.
all the way to Cabo and had one little incident.
Does that engine work at all? Engine dead?
I think we're all good though. Good.
Okay, good. Well, Chuck, I'm hoping next year I'll be on the Ha-Ha and we could maybe live stream between two boats.
That would be awesome. And I'm going to do what I can to make sure there's another Ha-Ha. And Richard, we'll see. Like I said, Richard's in his 70s and everything getting a little harder to get things handled. And we'll just see how much energy he has.
That's great. Well, I do appreciate Richard and Danya and you and everyone on Profligate for inviting us aboard. It was really great. And thank you so much for giving us such great detailed information every day and letting us peek and letting our audience peek into what it's like to be on the Ha-Ha. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thank you very much, Nikki, and have a great afternoon. And we will talk more when I get back.
All right. Sounds great, Chuck. Thanks.
Okay.
And thanks to everyone for tuning in for this. It was fun. It was something we've never done before. Like I said, hopefully we'll do it again next year, maybe in a little bit of a different format. But thank you all for tuning in. And if you've never done the Baja Ha-Ha, we hope there will be a 31, and we hope you will sign up and join us for it. So,
Excellent. See
all
you,
right.
everybody.
See ya.